Welcome to Back at Camp. Hey, on today's show, I got with me two special guests. I've got Charles Coons and his friend Wayne Adams. Guys, welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the trip. What we're going to do is we're going to take these two boys out and we're going to give them a little bit of Lake Mead striper and catfishing Arizona style. We're going to show them how we catch them, what we use for bait. Hopefully tomorrow morning we'll have a big stringer of fish over there to show you guys. But now, Charles, you got this trip. How'd you get it?
Through the Arizona Deer Association.
Okay, so each year I donate a number of trips to different conservation organizations in Arizona, and they auction them off, sell them, or whatever they do with them. But anyway, Charles got his from the Arizona Deer Association, so his certificate entitled him and another angler to come, and here they are. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw a little different spin on it. I thought this would be a great time to do a TV show. I do a weekly TV show, so we said, why don't we just make this a TV show and put you guys all over the YouTube and everything else. So what we're going to do is we're going to go fishing. Bill, our cameraman's just about got all of our bait done, and Dan's behind the camera right now, our producer, and we're going to get everything loaded up, folks. And it's a beautiful, beautiful July evening up here at Lake Mead. They were calling for a chance for some thunderstorms, but I don't see anything. So we're going to go out to the lake just as soon as it gets dark, and we're going to run up the lake. We're going to try a spot and see if we can't put these guys on some fish and see if these guys know how to fish. Do you guys know how to fish?
Marginal, only with a bow.
Bow fisherman. Well, I'll tell you what, before the night's over, you will see stripers so close that with a bow, it would be just like literally shooting from here to the floor. So they'll be coming up there and they'll be gobbling up minnows, and you can't catch them because when they're on minnows, they don't bite bait. But as soon as you drop through them, that's where the ones that are feeding on the anchovies and the squid that we use. So that's what we're going to do. So we got a bow fisherman here. No bow equipment tonight out here on Lake Mead. We're going to use a fishing rod and reel, and we're going to go get them. So don't go away. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
I've developed a method that I think works pretty well. Is you just put your hand on there. It cuts right into the bait. You don't have to go all the way to the table if you don't want.
Bill likes the electric knife feature.
Bill likes
Dan's kind of the old school kind of guy.
You can just slice them just like that.
Now why are you guys cutting them when they're frozen? What's the purpose?
Because they don't stink as bad.
They don't stink as bad. Well,
if we cut them when they weren't frozen and refroze them again, it'd be mush.
There you go. Like Bill said, you want to cut them when they're frozen, because if this bait thaws out, then all you can use it for is just basically chum.
Dry ice. It's on the dry ice. If you don't use dry ice, your bait is going to be mushy by the time you get it out there. You used to put it on the dry ice. It gets it nice and hard. You can barely drive that up through it.
Okay, here we go. We're going to give you kind of a walkthrough on the boat. Again, this is the boat that we use on our fishing trips, on our striper trips. We call the boat Striper Hunters, which is the name of our business. Now, something I want to bring up right now is this is kind of a sponsor of mine, Hydro-Go fishing lights. And I think this is really what makes these trips go. Those lights really cast off a beautiful glow at night. They attract the photoplankton, the zooplankton, and which ultimately will bring in the small shad and that kind of thing. We'll show you tonight. We're going to take pictures of it. But this is basically a 21-foot boat. It's a jet boat. We've got a trolling motor here, a 24-volt trolling motor, just in case something should happen with the main engine. We still got a way to get back. Here we got a little bit of people were asking about t-shirts. So I had a bunch of t-shirts made up. Got some of the rods and reels we're going to use tonight. So one of the things I do is I paint those tips, and that's because at night you can really see them great. So I've got a eagle graph that I use. It marks all of our trails and water roads that we go to and all of the spots that we fish to. So I could literally not be able to see and could follow this, and it would lead us right to the spots that I fish. Another thing, we got anchors fore and aft. Everybody has a life jacket. That's mandatory. When the main engine's running, you are required by law and common sense to have a life jacket on while the big engine's running. These things, you go like this and you just stick your knife, your fillet knife, all the way through them, like that, split them open, take this off. This we put in the chum bucket, okay? Now, what we're gonna do here now is we're gonna make our actual pieces that we're gonna use to make our squid sandwiches. And what we do is you just cut that like that. Now, Bill, being an old postal man, Bill will appreciate this. We make these into squares, kind of like postage stamps. So you just go there, there, and there. Here we have your basic component to make up a squid sandwich we talked about. We got the squid there that's cut up, and this is the bait. There's a head portion, a center portion, and a tail portion. What we hook those to, these are Canyon plastic jig heads, 1/4 ounce. This is called the minnow head, and this one is called the T series. T as in Tom. And both of these are 1/4 ounce heads. They're just a different design. Now you notice this one's got a little bit bigger hook than the other one does. I actually prefer 3 or 4/0 Gamakatsu hooks because those hooks are virtually indestructible. These happen to be Eagle Claw hooks that were originally put in there. These were actually manufactured by a gentleman by the name of Gary Garland. You old Kingman people will remember him. He used to be called Garland Plastics, and he's passed away now, but these are some of the ones that Gary initially casted for me when we were just kind of messing around trying to figure out what would work the best for stripers. What I found now is that if you put Gamakatsu hooks in there, they're more expensive, but boy, are they not a better hook. They're really good. Now let me show you how to do this, and I'm going to use the T-Series hook. Okay, I've got a piece of squid right here. Now remember, I'm going to hook it right through the center, and I'm going to just push this up over that collar right there. Then I'm going to take the tail and I run it through right here, down through, so it comes all the way through, and turn it around and take it through the other side. And then what you do, now look at that. See how that is almost perfectly straight. Now, what I'm thinking on this is, let's just imagine this is hanging off a line, right? It's hanging straight down in the water, and what does that look like? It generally resembles a shad minnow. Remember, shads are the number one bait fish for stripers in Lake Mead. Catfish too. So here this thing is hanging like this, if we can get it like that, and it's hanging down in the water, it's floating through the water column, and it looks like a shad that's been partially eaten. Stripers are very aggressive, and a striper's going to come up, and he's going to come up here. Now remember, these are both saltwater. This is an anchovy from the ocean. This is a squid from the ocean. But what makes them attractive to stripers? I believe it's the salt inside the fish. Remember, stripers were originally a saltwater fish. They key on salt. This thing oozes salt as it's going through the water column, and they're able to pick that up from a long distance, and they smell that salt, and this is a natural bait. And here they come, and they're going to come up. Some of them just engulf it and eat it. Some of them come up and they just kind of suck on it. Now they'll pull scales off, and they'll be testing those scales, and they realize, wow, this is real. Then they'll go bip, bip, and tonight we're going to film some of this when they're going tap, tap, tap. You don't jerk then. Wait till the pole goes down. That's when he sucked it in, he's turning, he's swimming away. But that is our standard striper rig right there, folks. And I'm telling you what, if you've been looking at the papers and looking at our TV shows, this really, really works for stripers and catfish on Lake Mead. So, and if you ever have any questions, by the way, feel free to give me a call. My phone number is 928-681-4867, or call me on my cell at 928-303-9481. Remember, a tip from the captain.
How do we do that? Go ahead.
Folks, when you're going out on a nighttime striper fishing trip, ice is critically important. You've got to have ice chests to put your fish in to keep them on ice. Otherwise, they get warm, the flesh gets real soft, they're not good to eat, and they'll spoil. we don't want to waste these. These are a resource that we want to have for generations to come. So it's important that we keep fresh the fish that we catch. Okay, we've been out here about 20 minutes now, and we have a little wager going, and it's called the last one who puts a fish in the boat buys breakfast tomorrow. Who had the first fish in the boat? Sorry, Charlie. That would be Wayne. Wayne brought in a nice striper, I mean literally right after it started. He's going to try to catch another one while we're sitting here filming. And then, who caught the second fish? Oh, Captain Don. Yeah, that would be me. And since I've caught the second one, I put 2 or 3 more in there. So, so then it boiled down to Bill, Dan, and Charlie. So who caught the third fish? Bill. Bill pulled in a nice striper. So then it was down between Charlie and Dan. And Dan had caught a fish, got him halfway the boat and lost him. So that didn't count. Then what happened, Dan?
Well, I got a little tiny one.
So you did catch one.
Yeah.
Charlie?
Don?
Charlie?
Don?
Charlie? Oh, you want to see it? Charlie says he wants me to catch this fish on camera.
Missed him.
No. Well, I will catch one on camera.
I don't know if I got that much battery.
Oh, jeez. Why does he always do this to me? He brings 12 minutes of battery, you know. Okay, we'll get it when I catch him. Bottom line, Charlie's taking us to Nancy Lou's in the morning. Woohoo! Oh, look at this. I got so excited. Okay, there we go. I got one. Charlie, what are you doing?
I got one. He's still putting up a little bit of a fight
Okay,
here.
Charlie's still in there.
Oh,
Hey,
catfish.
look at- catfish. Charlie got the first cat of the night. Attaboy, Charlie. Good job.
Channel?
Yep. Good job. All right. See how it's done, Charlie?
I think I missed.
Show us how to get that fish off of there, Don.
Okay, we're going to use a fish cloth.
Fish on.
Uh-oh, Wayne's got one. And what you do is you grab him,
I did.
you immobilize him,
You hit pretty close to the boat, that one.
okay? And then you take the hook and just push it out like that. Now, then what you do is put your finger in his mouth like that so that he can't get off, okay? This way, look, no matter what he does, he can't get off. Then you open up your ice chest, your fish ice chest, and there he goes. That's how we do it on striper hunters. Now, we're gonna let him kind of thrash right there, keeping the line stiff. If you give him any slack, he's gone. Now, what we do is we reach out here on the rod about halfway. See how he's kind of not flopping? Now watch this. We're just gonna lift him up and into the boat. No flop, no muss. That is a good fish right there. That may be one of our best ones tonight. What we got set up here, you'll notice we've got 12-volt lights on each corner of the boat. And then over the side, we have hydroglow fishing lights. Now these hydroglow lights throw out a green cast out there, and they attract photoplankton, zooplankton, which ultimately attracts minnows, which ultimately attracts these guys. And I really believe in hydroglow lights, and I endorse them. I mean, what can you say when you're catching fish like this, right? Beautiful night on Lake Mead. This is what you need, fellas. Caught a catfish tonight.
Catfish there.
Not bad.
He's got like 3 of them.
Good pound.
How much?
Probably a pound, wouldn't you say?
Yes, that's a pound. That's a pound 6 ounces.
Okay. Big enough for the grill.
Okay, we're gonna see how Wayne baits the hook here.
Hey, Bill's got one. Bill just hooked up.
Uh-oh.
All of a sudden.
I don't know if he's coming.
Show
got
me
it?
when you get it all hooked up there, Wayne.
That's about it.
Did you show him how to do it?
Okay, let's see.
A squid sandwich?
A squid on top and part of an anchovy on the bottom. Try and get the hook to come back in sometimes, but it doesn't always cooperate.
Yeah.
Make
So
sure
how
it's
do you?
straight over the side, open it up and just let it free fall. Count to 20, somewhere about in there.
Charlie got a bite. Wow.
As soon as it went down
What
there,
you got here? Isn't that crazy? Oh, I got a little Got a little love tap going on this side. Come on. Okay, fish on. Okay. There's a swarm of stripers down there. Uh-oh, I think he hooked me up by the pole, but yeah, he did.
Oh, you did all that on your own.
Yeah, but look at here. Look at here. Swam him right off of it. Okay, here's the deal. Okay, now notice we got his head out of water. We're gonna let him just kind of, he gets a little oxygen deprived there. I grab the rod halfway up and come right in. Notice he didn't flop. Now watch what happens when he hits something. See, they go nuts. But as long as you just gently bring them in, hey, they're not gonna get off.
As soon as I got him in the boat, he hit some, snapped the line. A nice grilling fish right here.
Striper hunters, folks. Lake Mead. Can't beat it, right? Right, Charlie?
No, can't beat it.
All right, let's get a picture of him.
Did a little option here. I changed poles. First cast in about 30 seconds, had this baby on there.
He's over 2 pounds. It's our big
Might have
fish
been
of
a
the night.
psychological thing, I don't know, but sure hit it good. So it's a nice one.
Look at here, and Wayne's got another one.
Broke the catfish spell.
What? Oh, no, you didn't. Oh,
Yep,
oh.
I'm moving
Well,
in.
that sometime during the night, you're always going to hit a little dry spot. Well, we've hit it, and what we've done is we've moved in, and we've chummed a lot, and probably in the next 20-30 minutes, catfish will start coming in the boat. Lots of fish swimming around down there, probably 40 or 50 stripers down there, about anywhere from 3 to 15 feet. Big old carp.
5, 4, 3.
Okay, folks, after a hard night of fishing, it's now dawn out here on Lake Mead, and we're just kind of floating along. We're getting everything packed up. We've had a pretty good night. Started off just on fire, and then we kind of drifted off a little spot, and then we decided to catch some more catfish and whatnot, but had a good night. I think everybody caught fish. Bill, you caught fish, right?
Caught fish.
I think Bill caught the biggest fish of the night, biggest striper. I think Wayne here, well, I'm sure Wayne caught the biggest catfish of the night. Not sure how the numbers played out. Maybe Charlie was our catfish king initially, but then he kind of gave that title over to Wayne, and I'm not sure which one of them caught the most catfish. But producer Dan, did you catch fish?
Yeah, I caught fish.
How many did you catch?
We'll have to count them when we get home.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't know how many I caught. There's my fish. They're about 3/4 of an ice chest there. So I got a few fish. So we get back to Mead View and everything. We'll be counting these fish later on and putting them out on the board. Away we go. South Cove cattle. They're not supposed to be here. They were supposed to be removed years and years ago, but as you can see, there's a bunch of yearlings out there. So obviously they didn't get moved. Now there should be a red bull. I think that him right there. Red bull that kind of keeps the herd going. Okay, folks, hey, we're back. We take a little nap. We got off the lake this morning. We came back. We cleaned up the boat. We got the fish all iced down right here. Now we're going to weigh and count all of the fish that we caught last night. and we're going to show you individual numbers here because we put individual ice chests for people. So we're going to start now. We're going to start counting and weighing, see what our big fish is, what our big 10 was, and what our best 40 was. Then we're going to take them out and put them on the grip and grin board. So don't go away. We'll be right back. And what we're doing now is we're actually doing the counting and the weighing of the fish that we caught last night. We got the scale set up here, and I basically tell them how many fish, and then we weigh them, and then we decide which pile they go into. So we're almost done, but we'll give you an idea of what we're doing. This fish is under a pound, so it goes in this bucket. But now, this is a nice fish. We're gonna weigh this one.
That's a bleep on the other one, right?
Yep, and this one weighs 1 pound, 6 ounces. Okay, so it's gonna go on the board. Okay, here's another fish. That's 1 pound, exactly. So that's how we do it. We separate the fish. We put the ones that's going to go in the wheelbarrow there and the ones that are going to on the board there. That's how we do it. Now, any big fish that's bigger than what we got. Here's our board, our grip and grin board, and here's all the results. We caught 92 fish last night. We caught 75 stripers, we caught 15 channel cats, and we caught 2 yellow cats. Big fish was caught by our cameraman, Bill, with a beautiful 2 pound, 14 ounce fish. He missed getting into the money by 2 ounces, okay? Now, as we look on the board, we see our big fish was 214, 2 pounds, 14 ounces. Our best 10 were 17 pounds, 2 ounces, and our best 40 were 59 pounds, 2 ounces. Look at here, we got a wheelbarrow full of fish. We got fish on the board. It doesn't get any better than this. Charles, tell us about this trip.
Oh, we had our moments where it was kind of slow, but we got on them real quick.
What about Wayne?
Wayne was catching 2 to 1 to me, but it was fun. We had a blast.
But you started off, you were the catfish man.
Yeah, I was
a
bringing
lot of them
catfish.
catfish on there were just, he was on fire. He found the catfish hole and was hammering them.
Before we were chumming, yeah.
Yeah, before we started chumming, and then Wayne got in there, and towards the end, and he started picking up the big catfish on the end. So, pretty good trip. Wayne, what do you think? What's your take on this trip?
That was a good trip. We were getting into some good fish, so we had a good time.
There you go. Okay, folks, we're at the end of the trip now. We've got everything done. The fish are all bagged up. I think we ended up with 2-gallon bags of striper fillets, which equate to about 16, 17 pounds of pure fillet. And then they also got a quart bag full of catfish fillets. So they probably got in the neighborhood of 20 pounds of fillets out of 92 fish. So that's what you can usually expect. Great trip. I mean, the weather was nice. The moon was a bad deal. Folks, if you're looking for a trip, look for the dark of the moon, late June, early July. That's when we get our maximum numbers. Again, I want to thank Charlie Coons.
Thank you,
Charlie.
sir.
Wayne Adams.
Thank you.
Hey, appreciate you guys coming over and spending time with us, and with the production crew from Channel 57, and we'll be putting this out here on the net, and you guys can show all your buddies what it's like to come and catch a bunch of stripers on Lake Mead. Till next week, folks, this is your host, Captain Don Martin, saying keep your fishing lines fresh, your firearms oiled. We'll see you next week back at camp.